Hey, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome back to Market Misfits. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin and the ETFs, the Bitcoin ETFs, to see what's been happening so far. We've been seeing more outflow than inflow. So, coin market cap data shows Bitcoin is up slightly, 0.03% on the hour, down on the 24-hour, down almost 7% on 7 days. And for XRP, we are looking at up nearly 0.5% on the hour, and we're down both on the 24-hour and we're down almost 10% on the 7 days. So we're going to be taking a look also at XRP. But let's look at this data real quick because we've been getting mixed signs here on the dollar and kind of want to incorporate this today on the call. Excuse me. So we've had pretty good news for the US dollar. Flash services PMI. For those of y'all that don't know, in general, cryptocurrencies are going to move the opposite direction as the dollar. So advanced GDP, we had positive. We had a bit of a miss here with unemployment claims. So we're getting a bit of mixed data coming in. Tomorrow we have core price index. So, stay on the lookout for this for those of you that are trading intraday. Long-term investing, this stuff is important, but not near as important as if you're day trading. So if you're looking at smaller time frames, wanting to know, speculate on the price where it could go in the short term, looking at the dollar. Let's take a look at DXY real quick. I don't want to get into this article on the Bitcoin ETFs. So going over here to the dollar, we've been in a bit of consolidation, it looks like, to the side. But if we go out to the larger picture, we'll go up to the 4-hour, and it looks like we're in like a rising wedge running into this resistance here. So getting a bit of a mixed signal here out of the dollar index. Now, when we're looking at the dollar index and we're looking at, let's add the SPX 500. Just want to go over this real quick. So we're going to add SPX, and then we're going to add Bitcoin. So the dollar is the actual chart right here that we're looking at, but you can see by looking at these, the SPX, we've been going up, the red line, okay, and the yellow line, Bitcoin, we've been going up. We started pulling back because we had other events happening in the crypto market. Spot Bitcoin ETFs have been approved, so there has been a sell-off. There's been more outflow than inflow, so we are seeing that impact the price. So that's why we see this line, the red going up and the yellow coming down right here. So how long will the sell-off continue to be? Well, it's going to depend, because you can see right here, a lot is going to depend on this dollar news. So you can see right here on the dollar that we went down here, but then on Bitcoin and SPX, we're going up. So we have this crosshairs, that's crossroads rather, right here. We started going up because the dollar was going down. Now, if we continue to go down, then there's going to be a better chance at cryptos and stocks continuing to go up. We saw record highs on SPX, and actually we are at them now. We've seen record highs on SPX 500 if we just look at Bitcoin and the dollar. So this yellow line is Bitcoin. So as we were consolidating here, dollar was consolidating pretty much. And then as we took off right here, you can look at these points. Normally don't go into these details in this group. It's a little bit more advanced, but figured we would take a look at it right here and bring it up because this is one of the main driving factors now that the ETFs have been in place. So we're looking at this area right here. And then, so this low and then this high right here. So at these points is when we saw Bitcoin start to go up and we start to see the dollar go down. So you can see how they're inversely, if that's a word, they're divergent to each other. Okay, so not going to go into a whole lot more detail on this, but let's get into this article and see what's happening with the Bitcoin ETFs. Just wanted to take a look at that real fast. Spot Bitcoin ETF products see largest daily outflow amounting to 159 million. Spot Bitcoin ETF products recorded their largest cumulative daily outflow yesterday, with over 159 million worth of Bitcoin siphoned out of the market. So, because we moved up so high on the speculation of, is probably why we are seeing selling on these. We're seeing more outflow than inflow, and that's affecting price and what some would say a negative, but it's just natural. Prices get high. These people have been holding. They want lower prices. They want to sell at the tops. Not to say that we're at the top, but we may be at a top, nearing a bottom. So we'll find out when we, later in the future. We're never going to know, but we're going to take a look at the charts and look at a couple different ideas. Renowned blockchain reporter Colin Wu first called attention to this development in a post on X, citing data from So Value, a financial research resource for cryptocurrency traders and investors. So Value data shows Grayscale Bitcoin Trust contributed to the most 159 million outflow recorded by these investment products on January 24th, the ninth day of trading. Notably, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust saw 429 million outflows, being the only ETF to record outflows. Spot Bitcoin ETF products to see 159 million outflows. However, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust outflow yesterday was the lowest negative net flow since it started trading. So looks like it has slowed down. Bloomberg ETF analyst Balchunas confirmed this, emphasizing that the outflows from the Grayscale Bitcoin product have continued to drop. So outflows today were 425 million, lowest bleed day since day one, seemingly trending down. That said, it's still a pretty large number. Source Bloomberg Terminal. So BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust saw 66 million inflows yesterday, the second largest inflow of any spot Bitcoin ETF. This is a significant drop in the 373 million drop from day 4. Meanwhile, Fidelity Wise Oregon Bitcoin Fund FBTC saw the single largest inflow, totaling 125 million. ARK Investors 21 shares ARKB recorded 24.5 million inflows. BitB from Bitwise saw inflows amounting to 19 million, with inflows to Invesco BTCO standing at around the same, around 20 million. In total, with the exception of Grayscale Bitcoin, the other spot Bitcoin ETF products witnessed inflows to the tune of 270 million from yesterday. This figure represents a 71% decline from the high of the 932 million recorded on the 4th day of trading. Excuse me. Over the 25 billion held despite outflows. The net positive flow into other spot Bitcoin ETFs was negative by the mass outflows from Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, leading to the cumulative negative outflow in the market on the 9th day. So, there's probably a lot of people cursing these guys right now, but hey, you remember Cathie Woods, they sold off their Bitcoin before this came up. Now it's starting to maybe look like, we can see why they did that, because they probably had a really strong conviction that once that these ETFs were coming out, that there was going to be an inverse reaction to the markets in the price, because we had gone up so far on the speculation. So that's one of the reasons why we're seeing the sell the news now. If we had just seen a Bitcoin ETF pop up out of nowhere and we didn't have these speculations, then we could maybe still be climbing, but we're not. So we're just going to be looking for places to buy. Where's the next probable places to buy? We're going to be taking a look at some altcoins later. This marks the 3rd consecutive day of sustained net outflows. The market saw 77 million flows on day 7 and 105 million on day 8. The spot Bitcoin ETF market has now recorded 5 days of negative outflows out of 9. So more days than not, it's been negative outflow. I mean, more going out than coming in. Regardless, the market has seen an all-time positive net flows of 821 million across the 9 days. Following the latest batch of flows, GBTC holds the largest amount of Bitcoin with assets under management AUM currently 20 billion. Blackcoin's IBIT has 1.8 billion worth of Bitcoin, while Fidelity holds 1.64 billion. These are only spot Bitcoin ETF products. These are the only spot Bitcoin ETF products worth over 1 billion. Overall, the entire spot Bitcoin ETF market now holds 25 billion in net assets with a trade volume of 1.29 billion yesterday. Amid the persistent outflows, prominent economist Peter Schiff leveraged the opportunity to criticize the products. Balchunas replied in defense, noting that the market is still early. So, going to be keeping an eye on the dollar and with the news that's coming out for the dollar. So tomorrow we're going to have core price index coming out. You know, now that the ETF speculation is out of the way, you know, we're going to be looking more towards global macro events data coming in and seeing how and looking for buy places like where is this price going to settle on Bitcoin. So let's go on down to Bitcoin and see what we got here. So here, so we can get rid of our line chart here. Well, actually, let's take this. We'll take this off. And now that we're here, we'll put on the SPX. New price scale. So let's do a little comparison real quick. So you can see that we continue to see SPX take off. So this is 500 companies in this indice right here. So this has given us a greater measure. A lot of people will use the Dow Jones to compare this to, but we started to see again right here. We started to see SPX continue, and then we saw Bitcoin drop. So, you know, again, this is from things that are happening in the crypto market that are not happening in the broader scope of things, global macro wise, like with the S&P, it didn't have ETFs coming out, so it's still climbing. But let's go down to the 1 hour. We had dropped a few different scenarios. This is one of them that we're looking at here for Bitcoin, that we would see continued selling. Something else I wanted to look at real quick was a few minutes ago, a whopping 5,865 Bitcoin valued at 234 million transferred to Coinbase Prime. Since the ETF Greenlight Grayscale's total deposits hit a staggering 99,000 Bitcoin, that's over $4 billion. So people are wondering, since Grayscale just transferred all of this over to Coinbase, a new Coinbase Prime, and 3 other new addresses, what are they going to do? Are they going to dump? Are they going to dump them on the market? Are they using this as a way to exit the coins, to cash out, pump or dump? See, so this is what the speculation is now. So, you know, this could go either way. What we're kind of looking at here, honestly, this is one of the options that we were looking at. Let me pull up our page real quick. Let's just take a look over here at Market Misfits, where we dropped these charts today. So this morning. So if y'all want to get this stuff early, if you want to get this news and everything early, then come on over to Market Misfits. This is a free group. We're dropping an analysis and other news events and things happening inside of this group that we don't have time to get on video and post videos all day on this stuff, or we wouldn't have any time to do anything else. So we were looking at Bitcoin this morning, had mixed data for DXY. We just kind of went over that. We went over that on the charts. So just wanted to look at these real quick, because these are the different scenarios that we're specifically looking for. We're looking for a break. We're looking for either a break above the 40,000, a clean break, green, and then we're looking for maybe a couple rejections on top to complete an Adam and Eve pattern, a reversal pattern down here. Remember, we've been in this triangle right here. Or we're looking for a breakdown here, something to sweep the lows, shake out the week longs. So whoever's got their stop losses and stuff down here, looking for a possibility of that we would break down below 38,754 and then make our way up. And then here's the one that we were just looking at. So we see a continued sell off below our support and we go down to 35K, maybe 30K. So, ready for all scenarios, got to consider everything, looking at the price action on the intraday perspective. And this is what we are looking at personally. So let's go back over here to the charts and let's take a look at XRP. It's been losing ground massively, but it seems to have kind of stopped, not really stopped, but looks like we're coming back down to this low. We have a descending channel right here on the side. So we could see, depending on what's going on with Bitcoin, I know people don't like to hear that when we talk about XRP, but it is what it is. If we see something like this over here, then that would also give us our Adam and Eve over here. So as much as people don't like to admit it, XRP does follow Bitcoin. The whole cryptocurrency market does. Are there things that happen to individual projects that cause them to move away from Bitcoin at sometimes? Yes, there are. So but right now, if you're an XRP holder, then no, there's not anything really that happens fundamentally with XRP that moves the price positive at all. So we're continuing to see a fall down. Now this line right here is the weekly resistance trend, looking for a possible retracement back up to test this area at around 54 cents somewhere. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. Again, not financial advice. We're still looking for price action confirmations on this stuff. So this is intraday. This is on the 1 hour time frame. If you're a long-term holder and you're not day trading, then it doesn't matter to you really that much. Later today, we're going to be covering some altcoin picks that are low. So we're going to be taking a look at the larger timescales. So be sure and stay on the lookout for that. We'll keep everybody posted the best we can. So we're looking at Dogecoin here. Let's take a look out a little bit first. So it looked like we had completed this cycle here. Boom. And then we got this long drug out, descending channel. We had a break up. Are we going to break this low right here? Are we going to sweep these lows is what I'm wondering. So go below these maybe. And again, a lot of this is going to depend on what happens with our Bitcoin scenario. So if something like this happened, then this would be more of like an Adam and Eve. So we would have a rounding out, and then we would have like a sharp jab right here. So that would give us our Adam and Eve reversal pattern down here. Which way is it going to go? Only time will tell. Let's look at the daily time frame real fast. So previously, when we were looking at this and we were up here, I was like, man, this really looks like we could come back down and do this number right here, what we're doing right now. Okay, so this is not any shock. This is why we always look down. We always look down at the downside risk first. We're not, I'm not going to say Well, here's the thing, to put it politely. A lot of people, if you get caught up in the social media, you know, you get caught up in the social media, if I can get this thing to work right. You get caught up in the social media, excitement and euphoria and fun and all this stuff. People start to tend to think that the market only moves in one direction when it does not. Okay. When we breach a major structure like this, chances are we're going to come back down and retest this sucker. And that's exactly what we've done. So we've kind of been looking at this possibility, not just for Dogecoin, but for many altcoins. And we'll be going over those. Whoops. We'll be going over those later. But we've been looking at this possibility for a while, for, at least a month. So I just wanted to take one of these and bring it over here. So this would give us our sideways inverse head and shoulders. Ultimately looking for a break up here at 11 cents. But in the near term for Dogecoin, and there's several other altcoins, we're going to be going over these later today. But we're looking for rejections off of this, and in some kind of structure to break us up out of here eventually. Make this yellow. I know it's not the prettiest, but you get the idea. That's kind of what we're looking for. So we want this structure to be tested and to be proven, before we see any other exposure going long on this. But that's going to do it for this one, you guys. Y'all have any questions, just reach out and holler, and we will see y'all on the next one. See ya.